He is big, he is burly, he is Potemkin, and in guiltygearstrive, he is here to deliver the pain with his Potemkin Buster. Potemkin is the heavy-hitting but slow-moving grappler character in guiltygearstrive. Through mind games and daunting pressure, he can unleash big damage very quickly. Potemkin's goal is to find a way to close the distance and get up close and personal with his opponent. Once up close, his specials like Potemkin Buster and Garuda Impact will keep opponents on their toes as they try to avoid taking big damage. And this means being one step ahead of your opponent with your choice of moves during your pressure. But getting close to your opponent may not be easy. Potemkin does not have a ground dash or an air dash, and must make use of jumps and his advancing specials like Hammerfall, Megafist, and Slidehead to threaten opponents and work his way in. Potemkin has the highest health in the game, and can take a beating attempting to close the gap. As Potemkin is a large character, it can be hard to avoid your opponent's attacks, but don't worry and be patient so you don't take too much unnecessary damage. Standing and crouching kick are both attacks that must be blocked low by the opponent. They can be cancelled into crouching dust for a knockdown which keeps your opponent close. Close slash is an amazing button that is the mainstay of Potemkin's pressure and combos. When blocked, Potemkin can follow up into most of his other normal attacks or command normals, and he can even cancel it into a jump, which is useful for continuing his pressure or for blocking an opponent's burst. Far Slash is a long-range attack that is useful for keeping an opponent from running towards Potemkin, and sometimes from jumping at Potemkin, as his hand reaches at a high angle. This attack can lead to combos on counter hit or as an anti-air, so keep your eyes open if it lands. Potemkin's Standing Punch is his fastest button, and can be a useful anti-air attack as he is tall, but Stand Punch will not connect on crouching opponents, so keep that in mind. Forward Punch is also a very solid anti-air that, although slow to come out, will knock your airborne opponents on the ground for you to put the pressure on after. It can be cancelled into special attacks to bring the damage and punish your opponents for jumping at you. Forward Kick is a particularly useful move in which Potemkin shoulder charges towards his foe. What makes this move unique is that Potemkin can Kara cancel this attack, which is the technique of inputting a special attack during the beginning of Forward Kick's animation, causing Potemkin to do the special attack while sliding forward instead of doing the shoulder charge attack. Imagine grabbing your opponent easily from a distance normally outside your reach, and the fear in your opponent's eyes as Potemkin slides in. Crouching Dust is a long-reaching low attack that knocks down on hit. When you land this on your opponent, Potemkin is afforded the best opportunity to get right close to them and apply pressure as the opponent stands back up. If blocked, it is best cancelled into special attacks to keep Potemkin safe. Jump Dust is a fun button where Potemkin drops his rear directly downwards, crushing anyone underneath. Even if you are moving forwards, Potemkin will stop to drop like a big old rock, which makes it difficult for the opponent to consistently knock Potemkin out of the air. If Jump Dust counter hits your opponent, Potemkin can follow up with a combo or special cancel the attack on landing for pressure or damage. Potemkin Buster is Potemkin's signature special move, where he grabs the opponent and leaps high into the air, only to come crashing down hard. Though you must be close to your opponent to catch them with Potemkin Buster, it can grab them from farther away than a normal grab, especially if you Kara cancel from towards kick. Being a grab, this attack cannot be blocked and must be avoided by jumping or backdashing. Hammerfall is one of Potemkin's most useful moves to close the gap between the opponent, as he charges forward and slams both his fists together once he travels a certain distance or comes into contact with his foe. This special can absorb exactly one hit of an opponent's attacks, which can be useful if the opponent is attempting to keep Potemkin at bay. Hammerfall Break is done by pressing punch while Potemkin is moving forward during Hammerfall, and will stop him from finishing the special as well as from moving forward. It's useful when the opponent is waiting to block or punish Hammerfall. Megafist is a unique attack in that Potemkin jumps forwards or backwards, depending on how you input it, and punches downwards towards the opponent. It comes in handy when avoiding an opponent's attacks, as well as surprising the opponent if they are trying to defend against Potemkin. But be cautious, as the forward Megafist is punishable when blocked. During Slidehead, Potemkin literally falls on the ground, causing a giant earthquake attack that must be guarded low or jumped over, because if the opponent is standing, they will get knocked to the floor. This is good to use if your opponent is playing very passively and staying still at a distance. During this special, Potemkin can absorb one hit of an opponent's attacks as well. FDB, also called Flick, is a special move that is used to reflect an opponent's projectile, turning it into a slow-moving fireball that will fly back towards the opponent. FDB is also useful as a safe ender to an attack string when the opponent is blocking. Get the timing right and turn your opponent's attacks against them. If your opponent is always jumping away when you are close, or if they favor an air approach, use Heat Knuckle to snatch them out of the sky and deal solid damage. If it hits the opponent, they will be launched far away from Potemkin, but if you have them cornered, Heat Knuckle will break the wall, causing the opponent even more damage. Garuda Impact is Potemkin's newest special move. He blasts his opponent with his gauntlet and leaves them in a guard crush state if they block the attack, or in a stagger state if they get hit while on the ground. During the stagger, you can combo into most any of Potemkin's attacks, and you can even combo into his Potemkin Buster for massive damage. Garuda Impact is a staple of Potemkin's offense in Strive, as using it when an opponent is rising from a knockdown can make it nearly unavoidable. Even getting their guard crush causes some damage, and allows Potemkin to continue to apply heavy pressure as the opponent will remain close. Heavenly Potemkin Buster is a special grab overdrive, where Potemkin flies into the sky, grabbing any foe that happens to be airborne above him. Enjoy the view of the heavens as Potemkin takes his opponent on a round trip to Painesville. Try comboing into Potemkin Buster from a crouching heavy attack for great damage. Giganter Kai is Potemkin's other overdrive, where he forms an explosive radius around himself that creates a slow-moving shield that can absorb the opponent's projectiles as well as hit the opponent. This overdrive is a useful tool to use against an aggressive opponent, but know that Potemkin can be grabbed himself before the explosion occurs. Potemkin is an excellent character for players that favor mind games and enjoy forcing their opponents to guess on defense or else face dire consequences. All you need is one correct read on their game plan, and their life bar will shatter to pieces in Potemkin's grip. Test your Potemkin grappling skills in the guiltygearstrive open series. Go to compete.playstation.com or sign up in-game.
PlayStation